Good morning and welcome to WHIO Reports, a community service of News Center 7 and WHIO Radio. I'm Jim Oddie. Thanks for joining us this weekend. On the program this time, we're talking about help for local families fighting breast cancer. We'll meet the people who work behind the scenes at a group, Pink Ribbon Girls, and their partners, Meals from Scratch. They work together to provide healthy meals and all kinds of support services, much needed services for families with a loved one on their journey fighting breast cancer. We'll meet our guest this morning. Matt Hayden is the owner of Scratch Foods Meals from Scratch. Diana Featherstone is the marketing director at Pink Ribbon Girls. Jamie Mayer Francis is a recipient who's had the chance to see what this is all about up close. We'll hear her story. And I want to start first, Diana, with your story about the organization. How did you get started? How long have you been around in the Miami Valley?
You know, Pink Ribbon Girls was started years ago by Tracy Metzger. She was the founder, and that was actually started in Cincinnati. It was more of an awareness organization at that time. The story was young women get breast cancer. Often young women are overlooked with a breast cancer diagnosis because people think they're too young. And by the time they really find it, it's too late and they're at stage 4. So that was the story then. A few years ago, Heather Salazar, who's in the Dayton area, decided she wanted to start something in this area to serve survivors in the Dayton metro area. But really, we wanted to provide services. We wanted to provide meals and housekeeping and transportation. The story had changed. We really didn't need to focus as much on awareness as we did to get people through this situation while they're going through treatment. So really, that's kind of how it all started. We became a part of Pink Ribbon Girls. She brought me on board. We're both survivors. And it's just been growing and exploding ever since.
So Matt Hayden, at what point did they, probably a call from somebody at Pink Ribbon Girls saying, Matt, we need you, come provide meals?
Sure, through a mutual friend of ours, a friend at Premier Health at Miami Valley Hospital Foundation. I was introduced to Heather Salazar, the director, and we quickly decided that it would be a great partnership for me to provide my skill set as a food service guy to provide very dietary specific meals to the Pink Ribbon Girls, and it's been fabulous ever since. We've been in this constant process of iteration. We started very grassrootsy, and now it's really become something very well-oiled, and it's getting bigger all the time.
Correct me if I'm wrong, your focus really is on healthy living, healthy meals.
That's
you
correct.
Could deliver just about anything, and a lot of families would take that and maybe be happy with it.
Sure.
But your focus is on something very healthy.
That's correct. I've had this history of cancer in my family. My mother passed away about 10 years ago from cancer, and as a chef and a food service person, I was always looking to help her out through all of this, and I didn't know a lot back then. I was providing her meals that I thought she would love, but this is the cancer struggle's a very odd thing. It does strange things to your taste buds, and they also need as much food for the fight as humanly possible, and there's a lot of nutrient strategies. There's a great volume of work out there dedicated to the best possible foods for that journey, and lo and behold, it's nutrient-dense foods. It's fruits, it's vegetables, it's whole grains, staying away from processed food. So it's of paramount importance to their struggle.
Jamie Mayer Francis is with us as a recipient. Did you know about the Pink Ribbon Girls before your diagnosis, or did that come afterwards?
It came afterwards through a mutual coworker, actually, and found out about the Pink Ribbon Girls after surgery and even the start of my treatments, and then was able to start taking advantages of the services that they offer.
I could just see you saying, okay, yeah, there's help on the way. It's from this group called Pink Ribbon Girls, and you're saying, okay, what is that, and how do I get it? What are they going to do for me? What was your first impression?
My first impression was exactly that, questioning what are the services that they provide, what are the services that I really need for my family, for myself. So you have to fill out some paperwork so that they know exactly your information and what you're going through. And then we went ahead and started receiving the meals. We haven't done any of the rides or the house cleaning, but we did start receiving the meals, and we've been receiving them for a few months now. And it's great for my family. My kids love them, and they're kind of picky, so that helps. It's, you know, when you're struggling with cancer and just your daily life schedule, it makes things so much easier.
And what is that like? The diagnosis, I've heard it described often, even by some of our family members, is it's like a tsunami. It hits you and all of your family members, even the extended family. And the last thing you want to do after a treatment is to come home and make a meal for your family.
Yes.
Now you can bank on that. Now you've got it.
Yes, and in the beginning, we did have what's called a meal train, and there were several people bringing meals several times a week, so that, you know, my husband didn't have to cook, I didn't have to cook, and, you know, that can get burdensome on the person who's organizing that and other people. So this has really been a significant help to all of us.
So now that we know about what is provided, at this point, Diana, what is your area of service here in the Miami Valley? How far do you go?
We provide our meals, transportation, and housekeeping in the entire Dayton and Cincinnati metro area. So our headquarters is actually in Tip City, Ohio, and it's just great because we serve this huge area, basically, you know, all these counties surrounding the Dayton and Cincinnati metro area. We go into a little bit of northern Kentucky because that's around Cincinnati, and it's been very well received. You know, when we started providing these meals, we originally were driving them. Like, we'd pick them up in Sam's bags and drive them from Chef Matt's facility to different homes, and it just grew so quickly we realized we had to come up with a better option. So now we ship the meals directly to your home once a week, so they show up in a box and they're frozen and they're individually packaged. Everything is safe. You know exactly when you're going to get them, and we've been just so blessed with how quickly it's grown and how well received all of these services have been.
How do people find you? How do they qualify first? How do they find you? And a big issue here is how much does it cost on their side?
Qualifying is very easy. Really, to qualify for our services, you simply have to be going through breast cancer treatment, and that's really what that paperwork is all about, just to verify with your doctor that you're actually going through breast cancer treatment. We do collect a few, you know, a little bit of demographic information just so we can do some group reporting for grants and things like that. You can go through your nurse navigator through your hospital. We have connections with all of the hospitals in the Dayton and Cincinnati metro areas, and that's usually how people find out about us. They apply directly through the hospital. But you can also visit pinkribbongirls.org and click on Survivor, and there you contact our executive director directly. She and I both get those emails. We read through every single one, and we'll respond to you and make sure you can apply. The services are completely free, and the thing that I really love about what we do is that it's not income-based. So you don't have to jump through a lot of financial hoops in order to get these services. I think a lot of times people think that I don't want to bother them, you know, we make a decent living, you know, I don't think I'm even going to qualify, so they don't even try. But the thing is, breast cancer doesn't discriminate. You know, when I was diagnosed with breast cancer, we wouldn't have qualified for free services. And I even tried to contact some certain organizations about wigs and things like that, and it wasn't going to happen for me because of where we were financially. So we know that if you're going through breast cancer, it affects your entire family. We serve meals for your entire family in your household because they take on the burden of what you're going through. You know, your husband, your partner, whoever, they're the ones that are taking care of the family, taking care of the meals, taking care of you and trying to be strong for you as a survivor, when really it's so stressful on the person helping you through it. You know, so we make it super easy. We just a really short form, and we can get you started with meals within a week.
We're going to take a break here. When we come back, we're going to talk more about some of the services provided to you, for you. And also, we're going to hear from some big supporters of Pink Ribbon Girls here in the Miami Valley. Stay with us on WHIO Reports. Welcome back to WHIO Reports. I'm Jim Oddie. This morning in the program, we're talking about the drive to help women and their families as they fight breast cancer here in the Miami Valley. If you'd like more information on this program or any others, check my Facebook page. Look for updates on Twitter. I'm at J. Oddie, WHIO. Our guest this morning, Matt Hayton, is the owner of Scratch Foods, Meals from Scratch. Diana Featherstone is the marketing director for Pink Ribbon Girls. Jamie Mayer Francis is a recipient who's had the chance to see this from start to finish. Although this segment, I want to start now with a brief interview with a local couple. They've been recognized by Pink Ribbon Girls as one of their biggest supporters here, Pat and Tom Robinson. They're the recipients of the very first No One Travels This Road Alone award.
This is my husband, Tom Robinson, and I am Pat Robinson. And we have been married 61 years. We're still hanging in there together. Yeah. We do enjoy helping organizations and other people, and the Pink Ribbon Girl was one of those that came along that we absolutely fell in love with and thought we needed to do something here. When Heather Salazar approached me with the idea of doing something with the Pink Ribbon Girls, I was fascinated because I knew she was onto something big. My fascination with it was the fact that these women are young women and obviously in need of assistance, and I thought Heather had a wonderful idea.
It's always fulfilling to be able to donate and to help people, and especially people that you know. And you know that the money's going to the right place to do the right things. It's like most any organization, you just want to support the people that are doing nice things.
Two big supporters of the Pink Ribbon Girls here in the Miami Valley. Diana Featherstone, your reaction to their support?
You know, without Pat and Tom, I don't think Pink Ribbon Girls would be what it is today. They supported the organization back when we were first starting. We hadn't served a single meal, and they believed in what we were wanting to do. They've just been one of our biggest supporters, their family. We are so thankful for their support, and because of what they have, you know, because of what they originally believed in, we have now a ton of supporters that want to get behind us.
I want to talk a little bit about logistics. Okay, so Matt, I could just imagine you in a massive kitchen, not with an assembly line, but a very large kitchen.
That's correct.
How many meals are you preparing for your average week, and how do you do that and also run your business at the same time?
Good question. We actually, there's this time separation. Half of our week is spent in Pink Ribbon Girl mode, and as that kind of, you know, meal manufacturing, we're under the compliance of the Ohio Department of Agriculture. We have one of the most stringent food service licenses that there are. Our kitchen almost becomes, at that point, a laboratory. It's white coats, and it's for good reason. A lot of the people we're making meals for may have immune system, you know, issues. So, you know, these have to be, they're prepared lovingly and by chefs, but it's under, you know, very rigid controls. And as a catering business, you know, once Thursday hits, then everything turns back to normal. So it's an interesting juggling act, but we've gotten good at it. To date, we're up to manufacturing about 900 meals per week and shipping those out every Thursday, and they receive them on Fridays. So it keeps us hopping. We're busy.
I could just imagine you thinking, as an entrepreneur, did you ever imagine you were going to be producing meals in this fashion? Because nobody else does this. Correct me if I'm wrong. Nobody else does this in the Miami Valley. There's no other restaurateur, no other chef, no other kitchen that really does this.
There are, you know, some businesses that have a similar model, but the whole nutrient-dense, you know, chef-prepared. There are people that manufacture meals, which generally aren't all that great. And then there are obviously great chefs in restaurants, and somehow we've become this hybrid of that. So we definitely have a very unique model, and I did not foresee, you know, once the Pink Ribbon Girls came into my life, it's been extremely rewarding, and then it's also been a whirlwind. So it's fabulous. We're both kind of on the same arc, growing at the same time. It's been organic, and it's been beautiful.
Jamie Mayer Francis has been able to take advantage of all of this. In your journey, as they call it, what is it that you've said, okay, I need, to get through this, I need X, whatever that X is. I need this one thing, or two things from this organization that really helps that day-to-day existence click along so much better?
I would say the things that from the Pink Ribbon Girls that has helped me the most has been the meals. Like I said, they're individually wrapped, so it's not one big meal for your entire family. So there's no food going to waste when you make a meal. You know, you make it for the individual that wants the meal. So it's kind of fun at our house. We go to the freezer and pick a meal. You know, they get very excited about that. And the other thing is the no one travels this road alone. I have met so many women and men, even supporters, everything out of this organization. I've made lifelong friendships, and I would not be able to get through my everyday without these people.
Support services are important. How big of a part does that play in this organization, Diana?
It's a huge part. I mean, I think that what sets us apart from other organizations is that the majority of people that work with Pink Ribbon Girls have actually had breast cancer. So when Jamie asks a question, or when we ask Jamie how she's feeling, we know what she's going through to a certain extent. And I think when I first went through my experience, to see someone with hair, to see someone that has, they're living life beyond breast cancer, that's a huge deal. And just to have other people to talk to that are going through similar circumstances. I mean, sometimes it's difficult because not everyone makes it. So then you form these friendships and you have to say goodbye. The No One Travels This Road Alone Award was actually named for our friend Patty Noel. She was one of the original Pink Ribbon Girls, and she passed away, and she's the one who coined that phrase. She was on the original Pink Ribbon Girls board, and when they were trying to figure out what are we all about, she said, no one travels this road alone. So that's why that phrase is so important to us. It's a part of our logo, and it's really what we're all about. The meals and transportation, housekeeping, they take care of these needs that you really just need to help you survive and live your life and be able to focus on your healing. But another part of that healing is the support you get from other survivors and people that have been through it before, and also supporters that maybe haven't had cancer but really want to see you get through this and really want to see you thrive.
When you get together with these new contacts, these new friends, what do you talk about? It's not about your diagnosis. Sometimes it's, did you see the game last night? How are the kids? It's about everything and anything.
It is. It could start with, how are you feeling today? How was your radiation treatment? And it could go all the way to, what toys are your kids playing with these days? It's everything.
Beyond the meals, beyond some of the other services, you mentioned transportation. How does that work?
So in the Dayton metro area, we actually have a driver who actually will drive you with our Pink Ribbon Girls car, and you schedule a few days in advance, and she'll pick you up and take you to your radiation appointment, your chemo treatment, your doctor's appointment, whatever you need. In the Cincinnati area, we contract with ProScan, and they provide a van that their drivers drive, and we pay them per ride. So it's the same concept. We just contract through them so that they can get you where you need to go.
And you mentioned housekeeping.
Yes. So housekeeping is contracted through organizations like Molly Maid. So I'm not going in and cleaning your house because you don't want that. But everyone's licensed and bonded. That's how we do it. And I think when we first started talking about this, people thought Heather and I were the ones cooking meals, and they didn't realize this big vision. Heather's a huge, big dreamer, and it's really gotten us where we are today. But yeah, your Molly Maids, we scheduled them to come to your home, so you know that they're professionals, they're going to do a good job, and they're safe.
Very good. And what is the best way for people to contact you? What is the best way?
Absolutely. pinkribbongirls.org is really the best way. And on there you can find, our website, our email information. You can also find a phone number where if you just want to call somebody, you'll reach an actual person.
We'll take another break. When we return, I want to talk a little bit more about your outreach program to make sure that everybody in the Miami Valley knows about Pink Ribbon Girls. Stay with us on WHIO Reports. Back in just a minute. I'm Jim Oddie. This is WHIO Reports. Thanks for being with us. Our guest this morning, Matt Hayden, is the owner of Scratch Foods, Meals from Scratch. Diana Featherstone is the marketing director at Pink Ribbon Girls. And Jamie Mayer Francis is a recipient here, is telling us about her experience. Diana, let's talk now about your outreach program, how people find you and you find them. I want to hear the story behind the Pink Fire Truck.
The Pink Fire Truck was the brainchild of Chris Williams with the Huber Heights Fire Department. And I tell you what, he is a dynamo. He's always out there, and people love to see those hunky firemen and wearing their pink suits. And they're so popular. So we get a ton of exposure through them. People can pay, like I think it's $1. It's a small donation in order to sign the truck. They sell T-shirts. They make a ton of appearances starting, I think, at the end of September, all through October. They've raised a ton of money for us. And actually this year, they are hoping to combine with the Miami Valley area fire departments to all put it under one umbrella so that they can raise even more money and expand the reach of their program.
As an outreach program, Jamie, what would you tell people if they're interested in giving their time or money or as a volunteer, just as a supporter of Pink Ribbon Girls? What would you tell them?
I would say any time that you have, please donate to the Pink Ribbon Girls, because it's a great organization, whether you have had cancer in your life or not. It's not something that, you know, they're going to hold you to for the rest of your life. You could have 3 hours to donate, or 3 years to give time. So any time that you have, it's a great organization.
And Matt, I can just see you thinking, okay, those corporate partnerships, there's a lot of people in the food industry here in this part of the country.
Sure.
This is, I call it Food Alley up and down I-75. I can see those folks getting involved with this as well. Yeah,
it would be great if more of them would. Thanks for the idea. We're going to get right on targeting that particular market, but I agree. I mean, food's so important to all this, and there's plenty of support to be had out there.
Diana, at what point should a family contact you? That's a big question, is at what point am I going to reach out now and say, wait a minute, I can do this thing, but I need help from certain sectors, and maybe Pink Ribbon Girls, that's a good idea for me. Where in that process should they call you and say, look, what's available? I
mean, as soon as you want. Actually, we have 2 different programs. Our Simply Fight is more for women like Jamie with stage 1 through 3 cancer, where as soon as we start services, they last for 2 months. So you'll get meals every week for 2 months. You'll get house cleaning 2 times a month for 2 months, and then a certain number of transportation options. Our stage 4 women, who are basically in treatment for the rest of their life, they get a certain stipend amount where they can just use their services as they want. So let's say they're having a good week, they don't need anything, they want to wait. And then let's say they're going through a particularly rough treatment cycle, they can say, I just really want someone to clean my house right now. So that's how we do it. We try and make it flexible for people, and you can always contact us for support. We have monthly coffee talks, or sometimes we have speakers, and then sometimes we just get together and hang out and talk.
And take just a minute to describe what we talk about the journey of breast cancer survivors and those patients. This is evolving. There is a lot of hope. There's still a lot of research going on with groups like Pink Ribbon Girls. There's a lot more support today than there ever were 10, 15 years ago. So first off, thanks for your work, your efforts, Matt, and for taking advantage and help to promote the event overall. We'll check back later to see what happens with Pink Ribbon Girls. A lot happening in the future. If you're interested in keeping up with the organization, I would highly recommend you check their website. All kinds of good information about Pink Ribbon Girls. While you're on the web, go to our website as well at WHIO.com. While you're there, download our app for your smartphone or mobile device so you can stay with us round the clock, stay up on what's happening in the news all around the Miami Valley. That's our program this morning. Thanks to you at home for being with us. Thanks to our guests as well. I'm Jim Oddie. I'll see you next week on WHIO Reports.